MVP split push is actually quite good. But in the very, very late portion of the game, I say very late, till 45 to 55 minute game, so I'm realizing to any mage also caps up a little bit more. If you don't have a good damage dealing item on this Nature's Prophet, you got nothing, which means if you do go a Scythe build, you have to get kills. It has to be successful.
That's why I'm thinking Scythe, like you said, 40 to 50 minutes. But before that, you go the Treads, Midas, or you go Brand Boots, Midas, then Treads, and then try and get Orchid, but it's going to depend largely on when the Anti-Mage gets the Banter Fury, because then you've got to time your Orchid to come in 5 minutes or so before the Mantis style, or else it's a worthless item. And then you get a couple of kills on the AM, then you build into Desolator or Maelstrom, and then the Hex. So you do actually slowly build up your DPS. With the Orchid, it gives you lots of attack speed, lots of intelligence. I don't think Hex would be great straight off the bat after the Midas, but you build up there.
What do you think about Heen? No Null Talisman going Blades first.
That's pretty good.
Oh, Region. This may be... he has a double damage rune, so he's coming in for Moo. The Ignite will slow him down so he can't just follow in and attack. So the first rune won't actually bring him a kill, but it will definitely push Moo back behind his own tier 1 tower. But yeah, but what do you think about Heen's build?
It does a similar thing to why I said Null Talisman was good, except what it also does is allows for faster phase boots to come out. Because with a Null, you go for the Null, and then that doesn't really build into anything. You don't build Dagon, you don't go for Veil. So it sits there as a wasted item slot. But with the Blades, you get that extra damage, and then you can also build into phase boots, which really is the favored boots on Warlock. And I wonder if he goes for Midas in this game. Depending on how his lane goes, he might, because getting to that level 11 is really important. Or does he go straight into Acronyms after the phase?
For him, I would prefer to actually see him go on Midas in this game if he feels he can get the space up against Newbee. Primarily because they want to hit a good timing in the mid game. And having that tier 3 item in the mid game is going to be more effective for him.
Completely agree.
Top lane, we got Rabbit. Actually, this will be first blood. The orb attack. Kuro just had to walk himself in there. Most of the harassment damage was already done from Region before that even started off. The tide was very, very low. He only brought Tangos to the lane, so there was no burst heal either.
Yeah, they got him down to about 200 health and then just walked behind the tower.
Yep. And that's really problematic. MVP off to a good start. Heen having to go 2 points up in Shadow Word and just heal himself up. He's still got an unspent skill point, so he's got options for other things. But Moo, it's very even in the lane. 6-1 up against a 5-2. There's not really that much difference between it. Banana's going to end up taking out that regeneration rune, so Reen's not happy about that. The Sunshane's still getting some good levels as well, and that's one thing which we haven't really touched on yet. What is the influence of the Disruptor here? When you have like a VS and a Skywrath Mage and the Glimpse, controlling team fights could be easily done by Sunshine. If he gets, he could actually pull like MVP out completely out of position. A good wall, a good static storm, and because he's finding early levels as well, you've already got that second point up in Glimpse, which is horrendous for Forev. Because he can't just walk himself off the lane, and how can be a little bit more over-aggressive on him then?
Well, it's already really bad. You look at his mana right now, it's sitting at about 100, so he's got no mana for the Call of Nature, and the Anti-Mage can just blink straight on top of him, burn it back down.
And what's he going to do, attack him? It's a poor man shield on that Anti-Mage.
He's got to go into the jungle at some point. Maybe get level 3 down.
There we go.
He is level 3 now.
Don't know if you really want to stick around for this one. Heen's moving up towards the high ground too. Region sticking with him, and Ogre, he actually did just stand his ground there. He's only got Ignite, so he doesn't actually have the Fire Blast stun. But he was just trying to stack up the Ancients. There's already a double stack right now for the Ancients. It's Lizards as well as Golems. And that's meant to power level Rabbit up.
I think Forever has to go into the jungle now. There's no way he can sit on his bot lane. He just got harassed really heavily by Hao and Sansheng.
Yeah, he is. He actually brought up a ring of Basilius just so he's capable of going in there and keeping his treants alive. He's got level 2 treants. That's fine for him. But his farm is still going to be really, really slow in comparison to what everyone else is getting. I know, obviously, the Tide Hunter is a little bit behind that of the Nature's Prophet. But Tide with the Anchor Smash still being able to affect Ancients, like that will always let him catch up. And you can stack a whole bunch of other camps.
Yeah, his farm in the first 6 or 7 minutes isn't as relevant as that Nature's Prophet who wants to get the burst gold to try and get his first item up, whether it be Midas or...
It's Rune contesting again. Magic Missile stun over on Banana. Remember, he's still only got the Ignite available. Heen with a Shadow Word. Forev's going to TP himself in now. Banana still a long way away from being able to help Moo. Then we'll see a little bit of a slowdown. That's just coming off with the hold, and it will be a 1-for-1. It's almost be a 1-for-2. Banana into the tree lines. Rabbit being blocked up by these trees. It's still attacked by the Black Dragons. The VS will be able to pick up that kill. As Region dying very, very low behind the tower. Sunshine, you get back over here into the tree line, and only brings back his dead corpse behind the tower. So a 2-for-3. It was still a 2-2 trade-off, but overall there's still 3-2 in favor of MVP.
Yeah, really nice blocking there by Forever on the Viper and the Tidehunter. It's just too bad that they didn't have the follow-up to continue. They died behind the tier 1 to go for the Ogre, which I'm not sure was the right decision because that's where they lost their heroes. If they continued on the Tidehunter, contesting the Ancients was the right decision because they know he's there, going to be stacking and trying to farm this. They put him low enough so he can't really go and take this stack.
And there's more problems which are coming in from this. Forev comes to the bottom lane to soak up a little bit of the experience. But Skywrath Mage and Forev down here, so they're not really going to split it as nicely as they would really prefer to. Forev, I don't know if you're considering like a seal into a Sprout, but it's level 2 on the Orb, so Silence is actually not available for the Skywrath Mage. But Hal got a lot of space to farm up in that bottom lane. I know Ember kind of got the same thing up on the top lane, and they're both building in towards the same item as well, which is Battle Fury. But the difference is Anti-Mage can hit his faster because you still... Like, I don't know if Ember Spirit... He is actually building a Magic Wand and Phase Boots to start with, while Hal went Poor Man's Shield as well as Treads.
I don't know, it depends on the stacking from the Dire. Ember can definitely hit his a lot faster than the Anti-Mage because if they stack, the Ember has that AoE damage from the Flame Guard, from his Remnants, plus Searing Chain, so he can clear massive stacks of large camps, while the Anti-Mage can't. And
bottom lane, Forev, he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble right now. Anti-Mage will secure the kill with the Mana Void. The Sunshine made sure he had to stay in position, and that is having the Ignite as well as Fire Blast available for the Ogre Magi.
But once that Battle Fury comes out for the Anti-Mage, that's when his farm starts accelerating out of control. Because within 4 or 5 minutes, he can get that Manta style up. And then that causes massive havoc. Get out of the Ancient Seal, not silenced up anymore. He can jump onto Warlock. Well, he can jump onto pretty much any hero there apart from the Ember Spirit and just take them down.
Something needs to change up here for Newbee, and that's Rabbit. Like this Tidehunter needs levels more than anything else, especially when they bring 3 heroes to the top lane. They want to force the tier 1 tower out. The injection of money early on, which just speeds up this Battle Fury. While Banana, okay, he could potentially turn into a Fire Blast. I think he has to as well. Onto the Ember, throws out the Ignite, and his Flame Guard's actually worn off now. It's a short Spirit jump away, but it's far enough away from the Fire Blast. The tower's still being chipped away. And it's only Banana as well as Rabbit to defend this, and the tier 1 tower is already gone. They've used the fortification, so there's no extra time they can get from that. They'll let the tier 1 tower go. But I actually kind of think this is better for Newbee. Because now that tier 1 tower is gone...
Oh, unless Rabbit dies now.
Okay, yeah, that's not as great. Rabbit, okay, upheaval as well as having that Golem beat into him. This now turns into a push. The Skywrath Mage will die in the middle lane in the meantime. But this tier 2 tower now is not a threat, and this works for MVP. A tier 1 and a tier 2 tower is the double catapult wave as well. TP out from the Ember Spirit. He's just going down to defend the bottom lane because Hal's trying to creep skip it and force MVP back, but they don't need to.
Yeah, QO doesn't want to miss out on the, 2.5 waves which are approaching the tower there, plus the catapult, and stopping Hal from getting uncontested farm is definitely something they want to keep on top of. Taking the tier 2 isn't a massive deal here because it's always, taking the tier 1 is going to give Tidehunter space. Taking the tier 2 is going to do the same thing. It would just be that influx of gold, which would be nice. He gets the... No, he doesn't!
There was the second catapult. There was a small moment when he could attack between the two of them. But he missed the timing on him. The anchor took too long to swing.
And then nearly dies to that Golem who's still hitting him.
Forev's in a little bit of trouble on bottom lane from Hal, but look at the support that's coming down to help him out. QO as well as Region. They know how they can just force this. Just push down, attack into the lanes. Hal's not ready to fight yet. Sure, you don't have the rocks available from Heen. He's actually sitting back and farming for the moment. But your Ember Spirit's more than enough to try and initiate an anti-mage. Force the blink out, get him out of position, and then just Searing Chain him up. There's just no Sleight of Fist initiation. And Newbee don't want to fight. They go for the trade-off. There's a tier 1 for a tier 1 tower right now. But they're already going to be down then 3 towers to 1 if this trade does actually complete. The fortification from MVP will buy them a little bit more time. There's no fortification available for Newbee because they use it to defend the tier 2 tower on the top. And there she goes. Tier 1 for tier 1. Are they going to get a kill? Middle lane they will. March gets dragged back. Get the Sun over on Sunshine. But the Thunder Strikes, it should be enough damage. Yeah, okay, Disruptor's already got the kill. Banana, okay, you're not getting out that one. A lot of spirits in from the Ember Spirit, not allowing the escape. He doesn't have mana, even after the 1 charges for the Searing Chain. He's short by 10, and then the wall will come up, holding Region and QO there. 1 quick orb into Mu. Will chip him down, but will not be able to kill him. So it's just a support for a support trade-off in the mid lane.
So now MVP have a pretty decent advantage. If we look at the net worth, it's sitting about 3,000, but their advantage is only going to grow. If you look at the items that are being picked up, Warlock going for the Midas like we thought, Nature's Prophet, Gloves of Haste, plus 1,200 gold, most likely a Midas. And then you've got the Ember Spirit, who went Phase Drums, and next item will be Battle Fury. Their ability to accrue gold is just going to get out of control.
I'm a little concerned, though. It's only like 2.53k advantage for MVP. When you think about it, yes, you're still a Tier 1, Tier 2, 2 Tier 1s and a Tier 2 tower up. And your net worth isn't as high as what the Anti-Mage is. Like, you got a Tier 1 tower in the middle lane down. That's wonderful, but the Anti-Mage will take your bottom tower eventually. Like, once he picks up that Battle Fury, he just keeps his own jungle farmed up, pushes the bottom lane, takes the Tier 1 tower, and that forces MVP to come back. And then they must be ready globally to react to that.
Yeah, that's why MVP have constantly been having TPs. Everyone on their team has a TP right now except for Skyrath because he couldn't afford one. But they've always had
MVP's
that
moving
ability.
up. Sunshine got an ulti straight away if he's going to stop this. He doesn't. Slide a Fierce Syrian Chase now. The ulti as well as wall come up, and Hal walks in region. The spill damage will go out to March, which means it'll be a 2-kill right now for Hal. Sunshine will be chased into the corner, which is where Forev will pick up his teammate, the Disruptor. And Moo, ulti onto QO. It does, but then Warlock drops it down with the upheaval. Moo just cannot walk away from this. Gives a triple kill over to Forev, who sat in the edge and kill secured it.
Finishes his Midas. Really great there. So that's both Midases coming out at the same time. No, Forever not bringing his.
That's just so much money for MVP. But it's still a double kill for Hal. I'm still seeing a 3-0 Anti-Mage.
Yeah, and that's going to be, what, a 13-minute Battle Fury at most?
Yeah. And that's not only just like, it's not even a raw Battle Fury. He picks up the Void Stone right now, but he built treads and had the Poor Man Shield with the Quelling Blade from the very, very start. Like, we've seen Anti-Mages just pray to get this kind of timing. And when you get the, like, you know, he doesn't have Cleave right now, but he's still able to have that double stack of a camp available for him. Like, you get through all of this, you pick up your 1,200 gold, you pick up your Battle Fury, 13 minutes in with treads, you're very happy as an Anti-Mage for that. And your supports keep picking up these runes too. That's another thing which I just want to flag. Newbee's been picking up almost every single one of the bounty runes.
So they're not missing out on the gold that has been taken, yeah.
Yep, and it's also power leveling the supports. Sunshine's up to level 7 now as that Disruptor. Banana's a little bit behind. He's 4 3/4. But 4 3/4 is still pretty... I mean, it's okay when you consider how much of the farm has been taken out by the Anti-Mage instead.
Rabbit has caught up quite well. Like, he's got Arcane Boots 1, 700 gold, plus he's level 6. So he's got that Ravage available and holding a TP most importantly. So whenever MVP go for that Tier 1 mid, or try and push down into Tier 2s, maybe even take Roshan at some point, which is definitely a possibility with Nature's Prophet plus Venge. They can go in there and contest.
The Meg's coming up. Oh, how good is this from MVP? The pings are coming out from the Ogre, though, saying, yo, guys, just be careful. They do have a ward up there, so we're very, very visible. But they want to get the mech and smoke, which means gank time. They must find themselves a kill. No Tier 1 tower in the middle lane means they can move a lot more freely here. And support for MVP coming in close a little bit harder. While Rock's down, it's the perfect time to do it. Especially when they have to make space, because they go for kills, and it takes the attention of MVP away from everyone else, and they found QO. The do Slide of Fist, a Defensive Spirit only now being cast, that's right next to his hero, so it won't get him that much, and the Glimpse going to drag it back into the ultimate. They hold him inside the wall. Hal will jump in to be involved in this fight, while the Mystic Flare from Region is being split damage, but that upheaval is being such a problem from Heen. They can't keep up with the heroes. The Ravage will pop. Hal will go on a dominating spree, ending Nature's Prophet's one. Region, they need some kind of glimpse, hold nothing. They don't have... not a sausage. 9-9. The Ember and the Prophet will both go down. They lost the Viper, sure, but Newbee come well out on top. That's now 4-0 on the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, and we talk about MVP being confident, but that was way too overconfident by the Ember Spirit. No defensive Remnant anywhere on the map. And then he's like, okay, I've got to put one down now, but slowed up by the Viper. That Remnant moves so slowly.
Yeah. But how effective is that upheaval? You asked the build what it was going to be for the Warlock. Now, a single point up in Bonds, it is a 0-4-4-1 build coming out from the Warlock right now. He just wants to make sure Newbee cannot walk. But the problem is when you have the Ember Spirit caught out that early on, your kiting and your effectiveness really is a lot lower. And the Mystic Flare was shared by 2 of the heroes, so they weren't able to get a quick pop from that. It was more of a slower kind of one. And the Ravage, when Rabbit is a blink taker for that one, the upheaval won't be able to be channeled anymore. Because he'll blink in so deep, he'll be able to connect onto that Warlock and just cancel the upheaval.
But this is really good. They know Ravage is down. They know Anti-Mage wants to go and farm after that great fight. He wants to finish his Yasha, which is not too far away from. So they go in and they take the Roshan. With that medallion, it's pretty much dead now. And they've got a decent rune on that Ember Spirit to try and take a fight straight afterwards.
they will have to force the fight straight afterwards as well. Like if they wait for this, then this Roshan is purely golden experience, which they actually don't get an advantage on because they took so much time away from their lanes. So they need to bring down this tier 1 tower in the middle lane. That's what this Aegis is meant to invest into. And if they can succeed on that, which they should be able to, it's a straight Aghanim after being built. Sunshine, a little bit of trouble for him, drops down the ulti. QO, he can't glimpse him back in again. Maybe you can now. Where is your hold? It's not going to be there. Disruptor goes down, the upheaval's already been triggered, but on the top lane, the tier 1 tower was removed by the Anti-Mage, and they're already attacking into the tier 2 tower up there.
Chaotic offering just for a Disruptor kill? I mean,
yeah.
Sure you're getting the tier 1, but you're going to get that anyway.
I'm not quite sure it's really worth it. They do get some nice aggressive Observer Wars down directly after, but there's no way to capitalize on it. And how? He's just creep skipping. He's very fine with this. Heen can't do anything against him anyway, because How, in fact, can turn and fight into Heen. But he'll just blink, TP up, he'll heal up and then come towards the bottom lane after he's picked up his Yasha, and just continues the strength of the Anti-Mage. 9.4k the net worth. I know the next 3 net worths do belong to MVP, but at the same time, that Battle Fury, I'm still not seeing it on QO. He's got the Perseverance, but he doesn't actually have his big power item yet. And now support coming in, Blink Dagger, Ravage onto 3. Regen and QO, the main man take the brunt of the attack. And March being slowed down by Mu. Actually leaves QO alone because he knew the defensive spirit was there. So he moved up. There's the glimpse back. They've got one. And the Ember Spirit back up again. He didn't actually catch the position right. The jump up. Where's your Mana Void? He can't do it. It's just out of range. The attack started. And there's your blink up. They need to get more control on him, however. He needs help. He needs help. Where is it? The Syrian Chain going to hold How in position. Rabbit, it's got Blink into Gush and Anchor, and the glimpse off cooldown. They hold him in the wall. QO is going to go down. The Mana Break wasn't up to get the kill. The 12 to 10 now, and Heen too close. He's being slowed up, and Mu going to get buffed up as well. Rabbit comes in again, starts to cut through that very small line of the tree line, but Heen, Shadow Word will only delay the inevitable. He will go down as well, and Newbee hitting very hard, having the greatest fight they could have asked for at this point of the game.
I can't speak Chinese, but I heard one of the guys shouting when that Aegis was popped and Ember died, and I just clicked on him. He doesn't have spirits left. He's got no spirits. He's expended them all. He's just going to die again.
Yep. And that was the perfect vision for them to see it. And with these kills now, How, I know he's only 5-0-2. In fact, it was the rest of the team of Newbee which came out on top of that one. The Viper at 4-3-5 now. And he's able to pick up that point booster. So working his way into the mech, into Aghanims. You got Noga Majai, who's up at level 8. Caught up to everyone else. Disruptor's getting close to level 9. And he's already got the Oak Club. It's life points for now. It's Aghanims for later. And that's when you, or any kind of protective items you think you can be picking up, you just can't use. Smoke's going to break. Nice side of Fist Syrian Chase. This will be the Death Banana. But this is a rather large commitment for a Smoke gank to get what they got.
Yeah.
And how don't you do it?
Be very risky.
Yeah, he wants to creep skip. He really wants to creep skip right now. But he also wants to kill off Heen because he knows how close Heen is to the Aghanims.
Do they know he's there?
There was a ping that came out from the Tidehunter, but it wasn't from MVP.
Okay.
So, no.
It looked like a ping from Heen. I thought,
he moved up. No, he moved up before the creep wave arrived, and now he does this. And all he wants to do is just keep the creep wave away.
Sneaky, sneaky.
And then he can jump over and take the Ancients. And it forces MVP, and this is what I was talking about, like, the split push is great for MVP, sure, but the Anti-Mage is such a rat. He can come in behind, and you force him to look behind themselves.
You're a rat bag.
He is just so deep. He's going to blink up and then TP out. Uses the Radiant Creep Wave. They saw him for a moment. Did that Wave of Terror get vision? It could have just been a swap. It's level 1, though. It's not a level 2 swap. He might have been out of range while the vision was up. Now Ravage committed to Ember Spirit. Where's your defensive one? It doesn't matter. The Static Storm's going to hold him here. Forev comes in to support him, but the multicast comes in from Okamajai.
And now Forev can't get out. He's in trouble. Rabbit not committing. There's the glimpse. That's why.
Pulls him straight back in again. And How is going to be like, okay, I'll take this one. And he actually doesn't get it. Sunshine will take it. Heen, where is that help? He's trying to get closer. The stun, it was over on Regen, but How now jumps in, looking for the kill over on the Warlock. March on his way in too, but he won't have a lot of great times here. Heen dies on the other side of the tree lines. The swap back up again. They're trying to stick with this rock, but How doesn't care. He wants hero kills. He doesn't want golems. Moving up, searching for the Skywrath, but he hid in the tree line and was able to TP away to safety. And now Moo's actually going to farm up the Warlock Golem as well. This is just becoming one disaster into the next for MVP.
They commit heavily into the Radiant jungle to try and find a kill on the Ogre, and it all just goes downhill from there. They push down this bot lane. We'll just see how diving behind towers, taking out creep waves, stopping their push in its tracks, and there's no way to actually stop it.
And splitting the team up, more importantly.
Yeah.
Like, you try and take a team fight like that, and you're undermanned.
This is why I wondered Nature's Prophet, was it the best pick? It has fallen out of favor, and for this reason, really. You've got no disable, no lockdown. Your timing against the anti-mage was never going to work out because of how well he did. He got 3 or 4 kills in the first 15 minutes or so. So his Battle Fury and then Manta was always going to happen before you got your Orchid if you did decide to go for that. So that was out the window. He decides to go for the Midas after phase, which I think was correct. But then Maelstrom, what does that actually achieve? You're up against these tanky heroes. That extra bit of burst magical damage will help a bit. Split pushing is very nice for, but split pushing against How on this anti-mage is just not happening.
In this game, it might have almost been better to try and go into a Necro book after picking up the Midas.
Yeah.
Just get that mana burn, cripple the anti-mage. If you possibly can stop the Tidehunter from having enough Ravage to trigger his ultimate, or at least, okay, he's going full staff as opposed to the Refresher Orb, so you actually can't burn enough mana to stop Rabbit from getting it off. It really is just one of those heroes which is circumstantial for the split push, but they probably thought they were good. Like, you're up against a Disruptor, Ogre Magi, Tidehunter as well as a Viper. You're not really feeling like the pushing power is great. When you got an Ember and a Nature's Prophet, then in your mind you'd be like, yeah, this is actually a really good combo for split push.
And we've not seen too much from
Good
Moo
Spirit
until
jump.
now.
Yeah, sleight of fist Searing Chain, timing was right from QO. March needs to swap him, and there it is. Cancels the TP just at the last moment. They'll steal him up, but support's on the way here. It's Banana moving up. Moo, look how much he can tank from this, and now Hal will make his play. March, he wants him dead, and he wants him dead now. He doesn't want to commit the Mana Void for it, however. He'll turn himself over towards Forev. That's the bigger kill. Skywrath plus Forev. He actually sprouts and all Moo's TP's out. The Tide Anchor Smash will reach him.
The AM Illusion's blocking himself from getting in. Slight miss micro from How. If that Nature's Prophet had gone out there, I'd be kicking myself.
I'm surprised How just didn't trigger the Mana Void. It would have got the instant kill over on the VS and he could have just turned his attack. And now he looks out towards QO. The Spirit is there, but it's not really that defensive. And How, he goes in deeper. He knows the Mana Void damage will be nice, but not while the Flame Guard's up. How, he's in way too deep. He has to blink himself away to safety. Trying to force a reaction from MVP. Rocks are up with Aghanim's upgrade, and there's 4 heroes. It's almost too good for Heen. The problem is he won't get anything from dropping them. And now he will. After QO jumps in, Rabbit though, with the Ravage. That'll stop Heen, but the Ogre Magi, he's already dropped the 4-staff away. The Magic Missile will follow him in. How? He's in the tree lines. The Orb is following him. He's sealed up. He can't blink himself away. He will drop. MVP able to get some rebuttal kills after Newbee getting too over-aggressive in the mid lane.
Great.
They give away a big streak.
Great play, but I think that was Newbee not expecting the Ember Spirit to come back in. He got to base really quickly, healed up, but he still had that Remnant in this position here. And Anti-Mage walks right on top of it, jumps back in, nice drop from the Warlock. And they look for Roshan, but it's not yet respawned.
Cockiness. Sunshine, top lane, that's the double damage Nature's Prophet. And Sunshine just like, get away from me! Which it will work. An easy glimpse. An easy glimpse away. 22.5-minute Battle Fury Ember. Up against an anti-mage who already has 1,500 after Manta and Battle Fury with treads.
Yeah, he got a 12.5-minute Battle Fury, then about an 18, 19-minute Manta style.
Yeah. That's a good timing for the anti-mage, and Ember Spirit's got a long way to catch up. He's sitting currently at the 4th highest net worth, which is really not saying that much considering they're only separated by 400 gold each.
Well, yeah, that was AM's first death. He was really high up there, giving that burst of gold to the Ember Spirit. Obviously finished off the Battle Fury. What do you think he goes for next, though?
For the Ember?
Yeah, go for crit or another Battle Fury.
You have to go for crit. Right. I'd actually almost say in this game it might almost be worth going in for a BKB. Just because you're going up against Ogre Disruptor, Tidehunter, and the anti-mage is causing you enough problems as it is. Like right now he's trying to go on Heen. And I'm actually wondering too, okay, when you've got 3 anti-mages, it makes it a lot easier. March even does a defensive swap, making sure that Heen is capable of staying alive. But yeah, I think the BKB is going to be the better choice for him in this game. It's not great because it does kind of restrict your damage you're looking for from just your range harassment, but at the same time, there's just too much control from Newbee for him to deal with.
It's mainly that Static Storm. If Sansheng can get it off on the Ember Spirit, which he's done so many times in these team fights, like his positioning of that has been excellent. There's only been one time when I thought, oh, that's a bit off when they were fighting down in the Radiant Jungle and he placed it there.
He walks down, they need the seal, and then again, his Mana Style's back off cooldown again. He waits it out, there goes your Manta, and he blinks himself away to safety. The illusions are harassing into Heen. His TP scroll's available, but he'll blink himself into a more random position before TPing out. And that now just flags the fact that Sony Heroes of MVP up on the top lane as a push into the tier 1 tower on the bottom.
And you've got no blink, you've got no force staff on these heroes that can actually lock the anti-mage down. Once he blinks out, after using the Manta Style to get out of the silence, there's no way to break that distance.
QO, defensive spirit protection, back to the tier 2 tower now. Also very smart from Newbee. They probably like flagged this after game number 1. Like I know you mentioned it to them, the vision from MVP was really thick. And they got a gem very early on. So they've already taken care of 2 or maybe 3 observer wards of MVP.
Yeah, it was kind of strange for MVP. They went through a 3 or 4 minute period at the 10-minute mark where they had no vision on the map whatsoever, to then warding up the entire map.
MVP don't fight. They should not be fighting right now. QO is going to come in from the side. He spirits back towards the tier 2 tower. March as well as Region are here for him. But they can't need to actually mount some level of defense over on their tier 2 tower because it buys space for Forever on the offlane, who is actually building his own BKB. And it is going to be the same for the Ember Spirit. Ogre Club to start with. It's going to be double BKBs. Right, How just loves this on the top lane. Especially when the Treants don't back themselves up. He just gave extra gold there as well. How's actually got enough for his full BKB. Which means now MVP have no control over him during team fights.
At all.
Yeah. Okay, Newbee also saw him go in. The observer wards are clearly showing. But what they actually see is even better. They're going to go for Heen. They don't care about what's inside the pit right now. If they can get rid of the rocks, they can then deal with MVP later.
No.
They want that Warlock, and Heen just walks straight into it. They'll bring him down. There's a rock. He does get it off at the end of the day. Slider fits into Searing Chains, but Moo just triggers off the mech. The Disruptor only means that MVP cannot rotate up from the pit. But now in comes Newbee to contest Roshan. The Ravage hits on all 3. Then he gets himself a little bit further down with a 4-staff, and they just go into Forev, into the corner. Mana Void will cancel out the TP. The Skywrath Mage is the only one left alive, trying to bring down Sunshine. He can't do it. No. The Magic 1 charges, and then a triple multicast from Banana. One swing will do it. If he only had Orb of Venom, he would have caught up to him already. But Region will get gushed away by the Tidehunter, giving a full team wipe, as well as Roshan going the way of Newbee, with the Anti-Mage holding on to that Aegis of the Immortal.
That was so good. The amount of times... Like, did Newbee see him, or did they just know he was there?
It was the Obs Ward. There was an Obs Ward on the high ground. That's what I was flagging. They knew that was actually telling them that MVP went into the Roche pit, and they saw the Obs Ward, and they saw Warlock holding back on purpose, because MVP tried to do what happened in game number 1. They tried to make the box of death around Roshan. But it meant that Newbee had to fight inside the river. And if they went inside the pit, that would have worked. But they didn't, and it was a catastrophe for MVP. If that Observer Ward basically just won Newbee this mid-ranks right now, potentially the game. They want to try and fight up against Hal. Remember, he's got Aegis and BKB available. The Spirits are coming out, and MVP expect a turn. There's no Ravage available, but the Static Storm comes off cooldown in 5 seconds time. Mood comes in, the BKB is up, Anchor Smash in, March will drop pretty quickly. They need to stop Heen. The Glimpse will actually end up cancelling that hold ability. No upheaval for him, and QO trying to run himself away. The Static Storm is still available. Region on the high ground. Mystic flares, but Rabbit just pops over the top of it. There's that Static Storm slowing down QO. Do they have enough control over him? Region to the tree line. QO back up through the mid. Region, well, there's an Observe Wall that allows Rabbit to chase this perfectly. Blink, Anchor Smash, Gush. He'll take the kill here. Back over to QO. They're burning out the mana. He'll go down, and this may even be GG right now. They'll go for the mid-ranks. Could you push for the tier 4s? The tier 2 towers are still up on the side lanes. Would you go straight for the GG call?
I think it's safer to go for the tier 2s, which it looks like they're going to do. But when you look at the respawn timers, 43 seconds on the Ember Spirit, maybe you're wondering, do they have buyback? What do we do here? Because you're not going to buy back to save these racks, maybe, because they're gone. But you might save the buyback to go and defend the tier 2, tier 3 bot, which they're going for now.
Yeah, you're right about that. They're not going to push fast enough to hit the tier 3 tower. Buying back for a tier 2 is pointless.
But then are you keeping the timer of the Warlock ultimate? Because it's coming off cooldown very shortly.
That's true. 10 seconds until it is back up and running. But at the same time, okay, you lost the Aegis Immortal on the Anti-Mage, but he is very, very close to finishing even a full Butterfly at this point. So that Anti-Mage is very, very scary. Not to mention the high movement speed their entire team's getting. That Bloodlust is still coming out. Magic Missile will go over on Hal. Their BKB is still now in the 9-second duration. Multicast 3 times on March. That is not a pretty picture. They've taken away their big controlling ability apart from the Warlock. Where is he? He's coming in right now. The Ember Spirit backs up, and Hao just jumps in. He disintegrates up against the Skywrath Mage, and then the Ravish to follow up. The upheaval from Heen still hasn't been triggered. He'll get the Fatal Bonds off, but he's getting locked down and controlled too much. Triple kill for Hao. Rebel hide inside the BKB, but they call the GG. They couldn't even get the kill on the Animage, who dived in so deep there. Game number 2 will go the way of the Chinese, which means our first best of 3 quarterfinal of the day will go down to a deciding game, Durka.
Yeah, Newbee went back to basics. They went for a hero that Hao is very comfortable on in the anti-mage. He farmed excellently. But more importantly, that Viper, you know, we didn't see a massive impact from him, but that was because he was the most stable hero in the game. He didn't do too much flashy plays or anything. He was just there, being strong, being stable, throwing out Viper Strike, annoying people. Same with Rabbit on that Tidehunter. He had a really rough game. Level 2.5, 3, what, 6 or 7, 8 minutes into the game, his Tier 1, Tier 2 fall really quickly with that big push from MVP.
But when he hit his Ravagers, they hit perfectly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing how game number 3 goes, as the teams will again have themselves a short break to compose their thoughts. And we'll be back here on the main stage of IeSF, right here in Buck.